Hello and welcome back. Today we are going to find out how to do addition when we're dealing with equations and in a way that does not actually affect the equation in any way. But we find out how to do the addition. Now, first of all, we are going to be needing our sample equation. For that, we have the following equation: x plus 2 is equal to 3. Now, as you can see, we have the left-hand side, which is the x plus 2 side, and we also have the right-hand side, which is 3 in this case. And we cannot forget about the equality. We also have that. Okay, so on to the main portion. How do you actually add? Now, the way we're going to be dealing with this is that you can say that we can add any number. Okay, you can add any number as long as it's the same number. Like, for example, 2, 7, and 27. These are three individual numbers, but you have to add it on both sides. You have to add them on both sides, so that way we can have the equation balanced. Okay, the equation, we can say that the equation is still balanced. Now, you can also add another number. Let's say you want to add 7. You can add 7, but you have to add it on both sides, and you also have to add 7s on both sides. Okay, you can't just add 7 on the left hand side and 2 on the right hand side. That will ruin the balance of this equation. Now, let's say you just want to add 27. You can do that, but again, you have to, whatever number you want to add, you have to add it on both sides. Now, let's actually do an approach that I actually wanted to cover in this video. And now we're going to be using the same old visual scales that I found to be really useful in trying to understand these old problems. And we're going to be using the concept of balance. We're going to say that we have that the equation that we have, we're going to put the equation into the scales. These containers are actually called the scales, I think. So we're going to put the x plus 2 into the scale, and we're going to put the 3 into the scale. Okay, so we actually find out that they're still balanced. Let's just say that we put the x plus 2s and 3s in there. Now we actually try to find out the angle over here. Okay, and we actually find out that it is balanced. It is 90 degrees. Now, what does that mean? That means that the equation is balanced. Okay, so that is what an equation is. An equation is something on the right hand side being equal to something on the left hand side. Now, let's actually try to do something slightly different. Now, let's say we have the following equation: x is equal to, we have something on the left hand side being equal to something on the right hand side. Okay, x is something we can actually say that it is actually something like a mystery box. You do not know what it contains, but it is something, it is something. We know that there is something over there, but we don't know actually what is inside of that something. So we're just going to call it, like, let's just say it's a mystery box. And on the right hand side, we're going to say that we have 2, right? We have 2. So we're going to have something over here, which we're going to be calling the oranges, because it's like orange on the background. So we're going to just call them oranges. So this is how we're going to be understanding why or how you're going to be actually doing the addition. Let's actually put both of these inside. Okay, so now that they're inside, and you can actually see that they're balanced still. Okay, they have equal weights. So what does that mean? That means that both of them are balanced, and this is actually an equation. Now let's actually add something. Okay, we're going to add 1 and 1 to both sides. And what does 1 represent over here? An orange. We're going to put an orange over here, and we're going to put an orange over there. Now, what do you actually see? They're still equal. Now, this is actually what an equation is all about. An equation is something which is balanced. And if you actually think about it, if you put the same oranges, okay, and if they have the same weight, we're going to be living in an ideal world where the oranges are of equal weight. Okay, so if you put the same oranges on the left hand side and the right hand side, the balance still remains the same, right? We haven't changed the balance because we put the oranges at the exact same time. And as you can see, the whole scale is still it hasn't moved, right? It is still equal. So let's actually get I really hope that actually made some sense, because I really found that that this approach actually helped me a lot in trying to find out what equations and inequalities are. So let's try to find out the x in this case. Okay, So let's say we have the following equation, -4 plus x is equal to 2, and we're trying to find the value of x. Now this is actually why we are doing the addition, okay? We are trying to do the addition so that we can find out what the mystery box contains. How many oranges are in that mystery box, okay? That is what we're trying to find out. So trying to find x is trying to say that what does x equal to? And when we're trying to say what is x equal to, you have to make x alone, okay? It has to be individualized, okay? It has to be on the one hand side, and nothing should be on that side. Like if we have a bunch of if we take that previous example that we that is scale case, right? If you have that scale case, and if you wanted to find out what the weight of how many amounts of oranges are in that box, right, in that mystery box, we need to have that mystery box alone on that scale, right? And then we can just count the oranges on the right hand side and tell that, okay, for example, the mystery box contains 10 oranges, so 10 oranges are going to be on the right hand side if the balance is equal. Now let's actually do the same thing. Now we can actually do that by removing 4 oranges, but we just can't remove 4 oranges from the mystery box side. We're going to add 4 oranges on both sides. In this case, we're actually trying to remove the 4 oranges, okay? So we're going to do the normal addition. 4 added to -4 is going to be equal to 0, and 2 added to 4 is equal to 6. This way the balance remains the same, and we can actually try to what is the word I'm trying to look for? We are trying to isolate the x. Yes, we're trying to isolate the x. So this way we can isolate the x without affecting the balance of the scale. Now we can actually say that we actually solved the equation x is equal to 6 by doing addition. And again, the way we did this is by having that scale in our mind, and without even having the balance be removed, okay? We still had the balance there, and we solved the equation. Now let's look at another example. -7 added to x is equal to 3. Now again, we want to find x, so we're going to want to isolate the x. Now how do you actually do that? By, let's say you have -7 over here, and the only way you can remove the -7 is by adding the 7, and you can only have the balance in the equation when you add the same number on both sides. So we do that. +7 -7 equals 0. 3 added to 7 equals 10. Okay, so our final answer becomes x is equal to 10, and that is how we actually solve the equation. We did that again. We solved the equation by doing addition, and we're going to be doing this the final time. This is the third example. Now let's say we have the following number: -6 added to x is equal to 0. So you have 0 oranges on the right hand side, but there is some anti-gravity oranges trying to lift up. Okay, let's say they're attached to some balloons or something, some helium balloons, and we have 6 of them trying to tip the balance up on the left hand side. So what we're actually going to do is add 6 oranges on both sides. We do that, and we can actually cut the balloons holding the oranges, and both of them cancel out, and so we have 0 on the left hand side and we have 6 on the right hand side. So what does this actually tell us? This tells us that the mystery box contains 6 oranges, because 6 oranges on the right hand side have the same weight as the mystery box. So that is all there is to finding equations and how we actually do addition. And I really hope you learned something. Thank you for watching.